All right, I know what you're thinking. You're in your late 30s, early 40s, and the midlife crisis hit, and the tattoos you got, and you're like, man, I need something else. What do I need? I need motorcycles. All right, I'm going to tell you why this bike, this Honda Shadow, yes, a Honda, is the bike you need to start with. I'm going to explain this story, why this is the single greatest bike you will ever friggin' own as a rider and somebody who finds their passions on motorcycles. So, it was 2014 and I'm 39 years old and I'm cleaning out my friend's garage and I see this bike, this specific one, and it's got 3,000 miles on it, and I go, man, I've never ridden a motorcycle. Can I, ride this or whatever? So we got it out, checked the tires. It had been sitting for years. All I did was make sure the tires had air in them, had gas in the tank, the battery was good, started it up, and I started to tool around the neighborhood on it, having never ridden a bicycle before, or a motorcycle, excuse me. I fell in love with riding the second I got on this thing. The intimidation factor, the fear of riding bikes, all this immediately went away the moment I started riding this bike. Now, I'm a shorter man, I'm 5'7". I do lift weights, I'm heavier, I'm about 230 pounds. And this bike was just fantastic for feeling the gyroscope aspect, as if the bike just rides itself. I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. So I bought the bike. I said, how much do you want for it? She said, yeah, give me X amount of dollars. I said, boom, I'll take it. The bike didn't look like this when I got it. It was stock. I probably rode it for a year. The one thing I did do was, because I did not like the sound of the stock pipes, I drilled out the stock baffles on this. Looking back at this, if I had it to do all over again, I would do exactly what I did to this bike, but I'm actually in the market to buy another VLX and leave it stock. You'll understand that as you go with this. So for the sound sake, and I'll put in a video of how the pipes sound after I upgrade and everything else. I wanted the sound, right? And you're going to discover over time that there's a cost for performance versus sounding cool on a bike. Let's talk about riding first. This bike rides itself. End of story. If you're looking for speed, this is not the bike. This is the bike that you first learn about, or how to wind up riding on. This is the bike that you first learn how to, get around town and everything on. This is the first bike that you fall in love with when it comes down to learning how to be a motorcycle rider. I did everything to this bike when I discovered bobbing. I looked at what a bobber was, and I'm like, man, this is what I want to do with my bike. So after I started discovering what bobbing was, I have a big shout out to thanks for TJ Brutal Customs, who almost exclusively teaches bobbing and sells parts for this bike, and Blue Collar Bobbers, who I got the seat from, and the lights, and the mirrors, and the Ford, I think it was a 1929 Ford, and the license plate light, this is license plate holder on there. So TJ Brutal Customs and Blue Collar Bobbers. Now remember, after learning how to ride the bike and kind of understanding, people told me in the beginning, man, you're gonna outgrow this bike so fast. I'm like, no, it's still one I'm ever gonna own. I live in the Chicago area, the northwest suburbs of Chicago. And I was taking a trip up to Lake Geneva, and Route 12, because I don't take this on 90, and I don't take it on 53. So I'm going up Route 12, and a truck goes past me at 70, 80 miles an hour. And when the wind hit me, I went, this is not big enough. But I was not in the market. I did not think that I had the ability to ride a bigger bike yet. And I still wanted to bob and understand all that. So as I bobbed it all in, I'm not kidding. I think I bobbed this in 2 days, not even. This, to take off the back fender, easiest thing in the world. A saw just went right through that. The seat was so easy to put on thanks to Blue Collar Bobbers. I did the wiring, which was so simple, again with their instructions. The tail light, the license plate bracket, the pipes from Cobra I put on, and then I wound up drilling out the baffles again. That was time consuming. I'll play a video of what it sounds like. I jetted the carbs. I put on velocity stacks. After drilling out the baffles, yes, you get backfire on it. You're sacrificing sound for performance, period, end of story. I left the front fender on because I didn't want water, splashing up in my face. I put this light on, which is, again, a very easy change to do. It's 10 times brighter than the stock lighter, and I put in the smaller mirrors. The tires, I had no idea how to balance tires, so I took the tires off. I jacked up the bike, had the tires taken to a bike dealer, and he put them on and balanced. Couple different things. The brilliance of this bike, this is the Honda VLX 600. The brilliance of this bike is you will learn to do everything yourself. I did the back sprockets, the front brakes, the front caliper, the rear brakes. There's drum brakes. Inside that gearbox there, I did the sprocket for that, the chain, everything. I could not believe once I got started, as intimidating as I thought it would be, it wasn't. This is the bike that every person needs to start off with if they're going to learn to ride a motorcycle. It is big enough for you to go around town with. It is, if you choose to leave it stock, great. If you bob it like I did, you're going to get some great looks. And because people don't see this. It's like it's a completely different, genre than most other bikes out there, and everybody wants a Harley. I'll talk more about the Honda Valkyrie later on. But I was very specific after buying the black and yellow 1997 that I had to find a black and yellow 1997 Valkyrie. I am a Rocky Balboa fan, but I didn't want the black and yellow Harley Davidson. Plus, I was looking at the Honda VLX 1800 and really struggling between, do I want the 1800 or the 1300? And everyone says get the 1800 or you'll get the 1300 and you'll be so disappointed that you didn't get the 1800. But I couldn't find a black and yellow that was not custom. I wanted stock. And when I found the black and yellow Valkyrie and then I started to research the Valkyrie, I was like, wow, this is something, this is what I want. So I got the brothers, right? I got the brothers here, the 97 black and yellow brothers. I do want to look in. My next bike will be an Ace, an American Classic Edition, the Shadow. I don't know if the 1100 is black and yellow. I think only the 700 is. I have to look into that further. But I want the triple, right? I want the trifecta of the black and yellow. But again, if you're starting out motorcycle riding, I'm going to tell you, Hondas, the value is insane. You're going to spend minimal for a motorcycle that will outlast everything else. The learning curve that you're going to get for understanding how to build the bike, work on the bike, tune it up yourself, and the pride you'll get from it, that's something that's invaluable. I can't tell you how it is an ego thing. When you're like, man, I love when guys get their Harleys and they spend 30 grand on it, then they spend another 10 or 15 grand in it, and they're like, yeah, I did this and this and this. No, I did. It was, me. I did all the labor to this. I bought the jack and I jacked it up, and I had to learn how to take the tire off and put it back on. And there's some great stories I'll talk about. Like even in the washer bearing, whatever this is. When I put the tire back on, I put this side facing this direction, and it's still, you don't think that's big of a difference. When I rode this out, the way that these people who wind up building these bikes are so ingenious, the bike tells you how to move. When I got on it and I revved it, the back end just kicked out. And I was like, what the heck is this? And all because I had a little part. The width of this was the reverse direction. And once I changed it, everything I was like, wow. So these bikes are they're made to be ridden, they're made to be appreciated, made to be worked on, and they're made to be the beginner person's bike who has value in motorcycle riding on a totality, from being a rider and somebody who works on them. So yeah, this is my first bike. I will never get rid of it. It is my baby. That's my Valkyrie. That's not going anywhere. And then the Ace, I don't know when I'm going to get the Ace, but that'll be next on the list. But if you are looking to get your first motorcycle, go look for a Honda Shadow VLX 600. It's a Honda Shadow VLX 600. It is fast enough. Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I don't like speed. I don't go over 65 in this. You get to 70, starts to rattle a little bit, shake, and you feel the vibration in your hands. But when you're going to be riding, and I ride this, an hour and a half out of town, then an hour and a half back in town. This is the bike to learn on. This is the bike to get confident on. It's low enough to the ground where you feel, that you're still secure. But this is the bike to start on. This is the bike where you will fall in love with motorcycle riding and especially working on it as well too. This is the bike where your passion will begin. All right, guys, I hope you appreciate this. Leave any comments in the comment section, any questions you got. We're going to be talking more about, obviously, motorcycles and cigars and all the stuff that us guys in our 40s and 50s enjoy. And yeah, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.